Here we are on our 1967 small window C10. This is the C10 custom option, so it has some different trim, like this trim here, and then it says custom here, and it also has some different interior trim that I'll show you, and a couple of little things. But now this is a single family owner, all original Survivor, that just has just an awesome look to it, with kind of that patina kind of shop truck look that people are going for, with that little bit of wear and tear. This is mostly original paint. I think something happened along the ways. I'll show you in the front, but you can't tell until you pop the hood. But I'll kind of do a little walk around with this. So it's always been Washington State, really solid body, single family owner. The original owner passed away in the early 2000s, and he was from Spokane, Washington, and then handed it down to his son, who had it for about 10 years. And when his son took it over, he did a lot of stuff and kept it for sentimental reasons. Did a motor, did the tires, did the brakes, exhaust, and it only has about 1,000 miles on the motor, less than 1,000 miles on the alignment and tires, and the exhaust and battery and stuff like that. But he really didn't drive it very much because he lived in the city, and then time has just gone on, and life and the sentimental value kind of went away. So he offered it up for sale about a year ago, and I'll just kind of do a little walk around on this thing so you can see it. And I picked it up, and I was going to make it into my shop truck. Originally I was going to shorten it, but then I just kind of decided I just couldn't do that to this truck, and could not cut up that original paint. And the long beds are just as cool. You can see the top still has nice little bit of shine to it. It's ivory. It's ivory two-tone, so it's ivory top with a dark aqua metallic body, factory original color. And you can just see how this thing has this just great looking patina to it. But this is where you can see some body work done, and I think painted at one time. I mean, ages ago. I mean, this thing's almost 50 years old, but it just has that killer looking patina on there. And then I decided I was going to lower it and just keep it the way it was and put my logo on the side. But then I couldn't do that because it just drives so good. This thing was aligned and just specced out perfect. It just drives straight and true down the road. It's just a true driver. There's no rust in this thing, so I didn't want to chop it up. So after a year and a half of going back and forth, I kind of just decided to offer it up to a new owner. It's going to go at no reserve. I mean, this thing really is no rust. But I'll get in close, because you will have this kind of just your average wear and tear. You're going to have your scrapes. There's no dents. There's no dings on this body, but you just have your little wear and tear. You can see there's no rust, and we have the underside photos. You just have your little surface rust there. And you have just a little bit in the rockers there, but this thing, I mean, even the inner wheel wells underneath the battery isn't rusted out, but the paint's chipped away there. But I took a screwdriver to that and a magnet, and it's solid metal. You could scuff it up and be good to go. But here you can see where a little paint has chipped from that previous paint a long time ago, but really just doesn't take away from it at all. And you can see that little chipping there, and that's how I know some of it has been repainted, but most of it's original. Like, you look at the bed, and on the, I think you see a little bit there, but I think you can see, along here you can see some scratches. Expect that stuff, That's the stuff I like. I think that stuff's cool. Adds its character marks, shows its history. Pretty much this truck can sit here and tell a story. I mean, it has all its original glass. It does have a little chip, and that's fixable, but it has a little bit of fogging along the edges to show, its wear and tear. Then show it's got its original glass. The wipers are really nice and tight. Whether this thing's got 90,000 original miles, 190, I'm not sure, but I can imagine if it had a bunch of miles, the linkage would be just sloppy on that, as you usually get. But you get over here and I don't see any marks where it might have been repainted, but I guess there's a chip right there. So the cab forward may have been repainted at one time, but the bed, and back hasn't been. There's the original wheels. I put the Copo center caps on there. But you just look, I mean, there's just no rust and rot, a couple little bubbles, but it's solid as can be. I took a screwdriver to it when I got it, just gave it some light stabs. And the inside of the bed has barely been used. You got your little marks here, but this truck, I mean, you just have a little bit of scuffs and stuff from the paint. I mean, it's amazing for almost 50 years old that, You know, the truck has never been used and abused. You know, it's just dirty underneath here, just some leaves and stuff like that because of the spare. Don't want to make you think we're hiding any rust or anything. Nice bulkhead, not all dented in. And this truck just tells its life and shows so many cool things with character. It's got like kind of like the pewter color interior. You know, the custom looking dash. Stereo still works, lights still work. It's really cool. I mean, this guy, the original owner, drove this thing everywhere. There's some 1971 road maps from Montana, Idaho, Eastern Washington. I mean, he took this thing all over the place. There's some other paperwork from other road trips. This is the tires that have less than 1,000 miles on them. I mean, all this stuff was done in, you know, the mid-2000s, early 2000s, but he didn't even put 1,000 miles on it. The alignment, transmission was serviced. You know, oil, you know, it's got all the receipts on the motor. Everything was replaced on the motor, carburetor, all that stuff. A gasket for the gas tank. It's really cool. It comes with this old AAA with all the original decals and stuff. I mean, it's super old. Just cool stuff that I like to keep with the truck. Battery. But you'll see with the rockers. I mean, I hope you guys go through and watch all the videos and you stay with me. I'll be talking a lot on the driving video. Just nice and solid. I mean, the door's shut like a vault. All original rubber mat. I even have the original floor mat that goes across. It's in perfect shape. You look here, no cracks on the vinyl. Just clean as can be. Headliners, nice, or the sun visors are in nice condition. They don't sag down. I'll take you guys over to the driver's head, but just listen to the door shuts. It's just nuts to find an original truck from 1967. And you C10 guys know that small windows are only made in 67 and they're super hard to find. But you know, you get the chrome, that's part of the custom package. You know, your trim package inside's a little bit different. Got your original GM. Just spick and span underneath. I'll try not to move too fast and spook the camera. Sometimes it gets all blurry. But you can see there's no overspray around that. You know, it's got the replacement for this. But what the coolest thing is, oh, this is part of the custom package too. You get the clearness. But one of the coolest things is this thing came with, I got a picture of it too. That's the first registration, and then it has every registration that this truck has had since day one sitting up here. So that's just kind of something cool. I mean, the son kind of followed what his dad did, left them all up there. This thing was always registered, always driven. And it's just really cool. It's just kind of one of those things that shows its character and shows its story. You know, I'll see if I can. Yeah, see, that's a 69 one. You know, because this first one expired in 68. And then, you know, it's got some original belts in the back that I kind of kept there, just because it kind of shows as the old man kept it. Really nice condition. It's got the original build sheet still back there. We got a close-up picture of it. It was bought brand new at, I think it's called Flanagan Ford or something. I'll go over there and take a look at it. But it's got all the original decals and the door jambs there. You know, it's hard to, you know, I don't mean to bore you guys and rant and rave on this thing, but it's just hard to find trucks or cars like this anymore. Well, it's Fanning Ford down in Gresham, Oregon is where it was purchased. Has all the options, you know, 283, the dark aqua color. It's got the deluxe heater, all that stuff. Just cool to find that stuff that is usually oftentimes long gone. You know, no door sag, there's no hinge issues. I mean, you go to pop the hood, you just pull it, it's nice and quiet, comes right up. There's the 283, all nice and complete. Not sure if you'll be able to see down there and see that's all nice and solid. You know, it looks old, of course, because it is, but all the brakes are replaced, all the, you know, all the hardware, master, rubber brake lines, all that stuff. Hop in here. She's cold. It's about 30 degrees. Oh, left the choke on. Did the driving video on the way over here and left the choke on a little bit there. So you can hear how this thing's running, just nice and smooth. Just purrs like a kitten. This truck always runs really good, always fires right up. But you know, it's cold as heck out, and you're gonna wanna run the choke for a little bit when you're hitting the road. So we'll get this thing warmed up, and we're gonna get on the freeway, gonna hit the road and show you how this thing drives. Again, this is an awesome truck that I hope goes to a great home, and you know, I'm gonna miss this truck, but it is time for it to go on to a new family and see what happens to it. So good luck, everybody. This will be No Reserve.